What's the status of Andrew Hammond?
The status of Andrew Hammond is day to day. Our mindset is with 6 games left in the regular season, and we know we'll be playing in the playoffs. We want to make sure that the long-term prognosis is good. So if that means this weekend is in jeopardy, then so be it. But we're not going to force him back in this weekend early for the sake of this weekend. I'm not saying this weekend isn't important; it's of major importance. But I think the last 8 games, big picture wise, are more important than Friday night necessarily. He has really leaps and bounds gotten better by the day, and that hasn't changed. He skated yesterday and skated today, but hasn't been facing shots. Kind of more going through his routines in terms of the movement and things like that. And we thought if today he had taken a step backwards, then we know it's a little more severe than we thought. But today seemed fine, so we'll put him back out there tomorrow and see how that goes. But I think day to day is fair.
Does it help knowing you've got somebody like Tommy Burke behind him?
Absolutely. And I think you had asked me this question a couple of weeks ago, did I see Tommy Burke playing down the stretch? And at that time we didn't, but it's an opportunity. I mean, we talked about it. He did not play poorly on Saturday. He got the win Friday. To give up 3 goals on a weekend, including a road game, you can't really blame him for that. And the second goal on Saturday night was going to miss the net by 3 feet, but it hit a guy. And I'm not saying they got lucky. They got the bounce they deserved, and that's all fine. But he's got an opportunity, and he's taken advantage of it. And him doing that has made it. I don't know if the word was easier, but it's nice to know that he's there. But that's what you need in goal. I mean, every top level team anyway has depth in goal, and it's nice to know that we have it as well.
When you look at Ferris, what stands out about their game?
About their game is their team defense, probably in particular. But I look at it in deeper terms than that. I think Mia with that. What they did last year has basically spilled over into this year in terms of their belief. They're a team that finds a way to win games. And looking at our series the first half of the year, that was we outshot them both nights. Our process wasn't great. Our special teams weren't great. But to come away with nothing from that series, it was a testament to their brand and their winning mentality and what has developed with that program in particular, over the past 18 months. I'm not saying they didn't have a winning brand before that. They did. But to win at the level they won at last year, I think that's spilling over into this year. And guys are finding a way to get the job done just like they did last year. And that stands out to me the most. And that's difficult because, how do you defend that? How do you, put a guy here, you can defend their power play, you can defend their forecheck. But how do you defend a brand of winning, of guys finding a way to make plays at that time? Because we're trying to develop that brand. That stands out to me as much as their team defense or as much as, Kyle Bona scoring goals or whatever. They lost 2, I think it was Jordy Johnson and Chad Billings in terms of numbers plus a goaltender. Well, they found a way. Mott is playing great hockey. The defensemen, whether it be Denis or Binkley, are stepping up in the top 5 in their team in scoring. You've got Kersinger now back in the lineup. You've got Bona scoring goals again. So they're finding ways, and that to me is the most impressive part. They were able to carry over what they did last year, not as a flash in the pan, but here they are again as a pretty high level contender. And we all know, anyone knows our league knows they play very well at home. So that's obviously a mouthful of challenges, and we have that. But again, we've had a little bit of success in the building last year, late in the year. And we thought we matched up pretty well against them in the first half. We've got to find a way to make that matchup into results.
And another big series for you guys.
Yeah, which again is great. The next 3 series will be big regardless of what happens. And then you go into the 4th series is going to be the first round of the playoffs. That's obviously going to be a huge series. So we might as well just put our playoff hats on right now. We're playing playoff hockey. There is a tomorrow for the next 6 games, but it's not going to be long in terms of hockey. So we're going to take it as such. You know, our focus is every day, but we do know that we've put ourselves in a position where these games mean something, and that's a good thing.
And then do you like the fact that you control where you finish?
Yeah, I do. I think that's great. You know, who wouldn't want that? You know, and we've got a series at home in the middle of 2 hard road series, but we can control it. And you know, I know our guys are talking. They know who Michigan's got. They know who Lake Superior has. They know who this team or that team has. And this is on us. You know, if we look back in 3 weeks and you know we're not in a favorable place in the standings, well, it's because of how we played these last 3 weeks. And if it's if it's the opposite, then we know we've played well these last 3 weeks.
My apologies for being late.
Not a problem.
Can you update us, or update me, I guess, on Andrew's situation?
He's day to day. I think he's come along quicker than he even thought. You know, I talked to our trainer, and when Andrew first came off the ice on that day, he thought it was pretty much over. I mean, he was pretty disappointed. He's steadily improved from that day. He skated the last 2 days, hasn't faced pucks, but he's worn his gear out there. And I was saying before that this weekend is important for sure, but we're not going to put him in any long-term jeopardy by playing him this weekend. If giving him a rest this weekend is the thing to do, so then next Monday he starts with a normal practice week, that's what we're going to do. That hasn't been decided yet. So if he continues to improve at the pace he's improving, that's a good thing. Then he should be in the discussion by the weekend.
When the decision hasn't been made, when do you sense that you'll make it?
Probably not till Friday, but it could be based on tomorrow. If he comes out tomorrow and he's really sore, and these last couple of days have been good, but they've led to it being too sore, then we make the decision tomorrow that he won't even come with us. But I don't see that happening just based on what the last 7 days has been. It's been a good progress, not too fast, definitely not too slow. You know, he'll go out there and face pucks tomorrow, and we'll see what that means. You know, obviously, as soon as Andrew can be back in there at 100%, we'll have him back in there. But if he's 95, we've got a great option in Tommy Burke right now for him to get the job done. So that's the discussion that we're having behind closed doors.
And does not, going with the assumption that he would not play this weekend, if we go with that assumption, does that change any way that you prepare for this series, that you play it or anything like that?
No, not one bit. Not one bit. You know, Tommy played, I believe, game 2 against Ferris the last time we played them. You know, it was a game where I think of the one goal in particular that Tommy would like to have back, and one was an empty net and a 3-1 loss. We outshot him 30-15. I mean, it was one of those nights where we were okay and didn't get the win. But Tommy's a competitor. He's a resilient kid. I think he knows that, and I'm sure he'd love to go in there and beat him. So with that mentality, he's a guy that we'll just prepare like we always do, no matter who's in that.
That was all I need.
Jake's close to coming with?
You know, he closer, but I don't know if close is, you know, I don't know if we're that close yet. He's closer. And now we're 3 weeks till the end of the year, and we get Freeburg's back next Saturday. Right. So, you know, it's been a difficult situation, unfortunately. But he's doing everything he can to be out there.
Any other injuries out of the weekend? Or
no, not out of the weekend. We came out pretty good out of the weekend.
And then with Ferris' special teams and other, I mean, it's every weekend, but Ferris' special teams.
And I haven't looked at the numbers, Kevin. I don't know. I'm sure they're very good. What I looked at is the breakdown of the series we played them before. If you look at the Friday night game, it was a 4-3 overtime loss. They were 2 for 5 and a shorthanded goal. So 3 of their 4 goals were on the power play, and that included the first shift of overtime that was on the power play. First of all, 5 power play opportunities for our opposing team is way too many. We've got to be disciplined with our game, and then we have to find a way to kill those penalties. Now, that was in the midst of a first half where we killed 70% of penalties, and that's just completely not good enough. And it's also in the midst of the first half where our power play wasn't good enough. Now we are doing those things better. Is it good enough? No, but it's better. The second night was I think they were 1 for whatever, and so were we. We have to find a way to shut down their power play. They're going to get their opportunities, but it can't be 5, 6, 7 a night. It has to be 2, 3. And then we have to find a way to kill those off. But it will come down to special teams. We won the special teams battle Friday night this past week. We lost it Saturday, and you know the results. So that's where our team is. It's hard for us, based on our lack of 5-on-5 scoring, consistently, to win games when we don't win the special teams battle. And this weekend will be very much the same.
What does it take to win at Ferris? I mean, obviously they've got a good team, but
Yeah, I think it takes, what does it take? Patience.
Yeah.
It takes, not getting frustrated with the fact that, they defend as well as they do. It takes some thick skin, because it's a hard place to play. A little bit of blinders where you're not worried about the dog pound calling you whatever, and you're just worried about playing. Now, we found a way. Our young guys weren't there, but our older guys found a way under the hardest circumstances last year in the playoffs to go in there and win. So that helps. But the 2 weeks prior to the playoff series, or 3 weeks prior to the playoff series, we went in there and didn't do well. So it's a place where they stymie teams based on the way they defend, and they will get up and push the pace. So I think you need to stay patient with the fact that you're going to have opportunities. You just need to capitalize on them. And it's a hard place to play, and things happen really quick in there, and you're just going to have to deal with that.
That's what I was just going to ask about it. The games are quick there. It seems to be kind of like a pinball.
Yeah, I think it has. I don't know the dimensions of the
right.
place, but it sure has a smaller feel to it. Whether that's true or not, the corners don't seem to be very deep. Everything's coming to the slot, and everything's coming to the slot quickly. And they've got a team that they've put together to play well in that rink, and they're good at it. They'll throw a bunch of pucks to the slot, they'll off the end wall into the slot, whatever it may be, and then in their zone, like I said, they defend hard. So, we'll have a chance to practice there Friday, and that's all. Those are all things, right? But they're not hopefully something that we're going to get worried about or get focused on. We have to worry about our own game and focus on our own mentality and our own process and purpose and all those things. And if we do that, we'll give ourselves the best chance. If we get caught up in all that other stuff, then we have no chance.
That's all I've got.
Thanks a lot.